Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a massive political standoff that is gripping the UK right now. So, here's the deal, and I'll keep it super simple. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer is facing intense pressure from inside his own political party to step down, but he is flat out refusing to budge. We're going to look at the facts, the actual rules of how this works, and both sides of this incredibly tense situation.
To make this really easy to understand, we're going to break down this complex situation into 4 simple pieces. First, the big election loss. Second, how you actually change leaders. Third, who could be next. And finally, why Starmer wants to stay.
Okay, let's dive into this. Part 1, the big election loss and why the Labour Party is suddenly so angry.
The core problem here is pretty clear, and it's a big one. Right now, over 70 Labour MPs want Prime Minister Keir Starmer to step down. Think about that for a second. When more than 70 of your own teammates want you to quit your job, you know you've got a serious crisis on your hands.
So why exactly are they so upset? Well, it all comes down to some really heavy losses at the ballot box. Recently, the Labour Party lost local council elections in England, as well as assembly elections in both Scotland and Wales. And these widespread losses, they essentially caused a sudden wave of panic and, frankly, anger among the party's politicians.
And you know, this isn't just coming from junior members of the party. Top party leaders, we're talking major government figures like Defense Secretary John Healey, Deputy Prime Minister David Lammy, and Yvette Cooper, have reportedly asked the Prime Minister to agree to an orderly exit. They basically want a smooth leadership change to avoid a really messy public fight.
Part 2. How to change leaders. Let's look at the actual rules of the game for replacing a prime minister and how someone gets forced out of power.
81. Take a second to really think about that number. That is absolutely the most important number in British politics right now. Here's why. 81 MPs is exactly 20% of the Labour Party. According to their internal rules, to actually challenge the leader, 20% of MPs must write a formal letter demanding a replacement. Starmer's opponents have a formal process to follow, but, and this is absolutely crucial, they have not triggered it yet. Starmer himself actually reminded his cabinet of this fact. Until they hit that magic number of 81 letters, Starmer stays right where he is.
Part 3, who could be next? Let's talk about the politicians who might actually take over if the Prime Minister is forced out.
The big problem for Starmer's opponents right now is that they just cannot agree on who should take his place. In plain English, these angry politicians know they want him out, but they do not have a single backup plan yet. And this division makes it so much harder to actually remove him from power. Because there's no clear successor lined up, the public is left making guesses. Let's slowly walk through some recent betting odds to show the wide variety of choices out there. Andy Berman leads the pack at 9-4. He's followed closely by Wes Streeting at 3-1. Then we have Angela Rayner at 7-2, Ed Miliband at 7-1, Shabana Mahmood sitting at 12-1, and Yvette Cooper at 18-1.
Okay, to simplify all that information, let's just highlight the top 3 strongest contenders. We've got Andy Burnham, who is the mayor of Greater Manchester, Wes Streeting, the current health secretary, and Angela Rayner, the former deputy prime minister. If a leadership challenge is officially triggered, these are definitely the 3 main faces you're going to want to watch.
Part 4. Why Starmer wants to stay. Let's look impartially at the Prime Minister's argument against changing leaders. The Prime Minister is standing his ground. In a recent cabinet meeting, he stated, and I quote, "The country expects us to get on with governing. That is what I must do." His argument is really simple. He's saying his job is to run the country, not play internal political games. He just wants his party to focus and get back to work.
And this brilliantly illustrates Starmer's main point. Think about it. Before Labour took power, the Tories ruled for 14 years, and that period saw 5 different prime ministers. Then, in July 2024, Labour won a landslide victory. Starmer argues that the UK public voted for Labour precisely because they wanted stability. He's saying that changing the leader right now would just cause the exact same chaos that the voters just rejected. He believes he needs time to actually deliver.
And he has loyal allies backing him up. Housing Secretary Steve Reid recently stated, "This is not a game. We must unite behind the Prime Minister." Reid is stepping up to remind everyone in the party that constant political instability isn't just news drama, it paralyzes the government and it actually hurts the lives of everyday people.
So we've seen the sudden anger, we've looked at the actual rules of the game, the possible replacements, and the Prime Minister's defense. As this incredibly tense political story continues to unfold, I want to leave you with this question to think about. Should a Prime Minister step down after local losses? Or does changing leaders cause too much chaos? Thank you so much for joining us on this explainer.